Picture, if you would, this large body of water. The Lake of Gennesareth, also referred to as the the Sea of Tiberias or the Lake of Galilee, it was 13 miles in length, and at the widest part, it was 8 miles. It was shaped like a pear, so it's round on the top and then comes right down to a point. So we find that Peter, his brother Andrew, the men that worked for them, their partners James and John, sons of Zebedee, and other men that worked for these two groups of fishermen, they were tired. They were exhausted from fishing all night and catching nothing. Do you know how frustrating it is when you've fished all night and have caught nothing? Especially when it's not doing it for sport, but this is your livelihood. This is how you make money. This is how you feed your family. This is how you take care of the men that work for you. And there's Jesus. He's talking about the Word of God to people, and the crowd thronged him. See, the Sea of Galilee was around the northern part where the Jewish people lived, was very densely populated. In fact, the city that Peter and Andrew and James and John were from is the city of Bethsaida, and it's referred to as the home of fishing. That's what it means. And so it's densely populated because the fishing industry that was built up around the sea. People are thronging Jesus as he's talking. And to get more of an impact when he spoke, he wanted the proper backdrop of perhaps the mountains or the hills. And so he jumps into a boat, Peter's boat. He says, Peter, he's on the boat. He said, push out a little bit. Pushed out a little bit. He's talking. Peter can still go and do his business, take care of the washing of his net, and make sure he's fixing up the boat for the next day when he's going out and fish. After Jesus finished talking about the Word, and people are there listening, because there's something about the Word of God that makes it so, as the scholars called, irresistible. I don't know if you've ever gotten to that place where it's like, you ever meet an addict and they're so strung out on that drug that they'll do anything for another fix. There's a place in God when you start pursuing and seeking and serving Him, His Word is the greatest addiction that you can ever get and have. It awakens inside of you an insatiable appetite. The more you read, the more you want. I'm talking about to the point where it looks almost ridiculous to the uninitiated. They think you're on crack or something because they don't understand. It's like this little boy who's sitting in the park reading the Bible, and he just, every couple of minutes, he says, man, that's good. And then this man is sitting next to him, and he comes and sits down on the bench. He said, what are you reading, son? He said, I'm reading the Bible. And he said, well, what part? He said, when Moses parted the Red Sea and walked through on dry land. And the boy read another verse. He said, my God, that's good. And the man said, son, don't you know that's ridiculous? It's just one of the fairy tales that you're reading. He said, how could the sea open up and a million Jewish people walk by on dry land? And how could that happen? And so he tells the boy, he said, boy, that's just a bunch of fairy tales. Let me tell you what happens. He said, at a certain time of the year, the sea gets so shallow that you can actually walk across it. And the boy said, my God, our God is great. He said, the man said, didn't you hear what I said, son? He said, yeah. He said, but all the Egyptian soldiers are drowned in shallow water. God is powerful. I want you to know there's a place where you can get in God where His Word becomes your greatest addiction.